Hello, beautiful people. He's Martin Luther King Jr., who was given a Nobel Peace Prize in 1964. He was the most renowned champion of social justice who fought for racial injustice in US. Martin Luther King says, "Every man of humane conviction must decide on the protest that best suits his convictions, but we must all protest." He talks about the importance of narrative. He talks about the importance of freedom of speech and expression, the importance that everybody should given a voice. Everybody in a democracy should have a right to assert his own position. Guys, please remember this quote for your GS paper 2 as well as a paper on essay. Guys, today is 31st of March and this is a list of editorials and articles from the Hindu and the Indian Express. And let's start with today's discussion. Guys, before proceeding to the editorial, we will take a news item from page number 1, which says India is still in local transmission. Guys, this news is doing rounds in all the major newspapers. Now, some party says that India had actually entered the stage of a community transmission. Now, guys, community transmission also happens to be stage 3 of coronavirus and which is actually very deadly for a country. So exactly what is the difference between local transmission and community transmission? We'll understand this difference. Guys, first of all, there is an outbreak, then there is an epidemic, and thirdly, there is a pandemic. When a particular disease or a particular viral infection starts from a one particular region, we call it as an outbreak. Now at this particular stage, repeated cases are coming, but the cases are smaller in number, they are not that large, so we'll call that outbreak of a disease. But what happens, slowly that particular disease spreads into the nearby regions and the cases from the entire region starts to come and the cases even increase, then we call it as epidemic. However, after that what happens, the disease not only confines to this particular pocket and surrounding regions, it rather reaches the other countries and even major continents of the world. Then we declare it as a pandemic. So when we give the tag of pandemic, it means that the disease is really very serious and WHO and all the national governments should give highest priority to contain a particular disease. Now, when coronavirus or COVID-19 started in Wuhan, it was a kind of an outbreak. But when it extended to entire Hubei province, then it came to be known as epidemic. And when it traveled across all the major countries of the world, WHO declared it as a pandemic. So now coronavirus is a pandemic. COVID-19 is a pandemic. Now, guys, any pandemic has four stages. First of all, the stage of imported cases, when the cases are coming from one country to other country. For example, when the cases came from China to America, it was the stage 1. Next is the local transmission from the positive cases. When the person from China reached to US, in US he will start to infect other people, then that will be a local transmission. Then the third stage is the community transmission. In community transmission, exactly, the cases will rise and they will become very much rampant. And the stage 4 is that when there is no clear sight that when a pandemic will ease. So guys, government is now saying that we are still into local transmission and not into the community transmission. Basically, the difference between local transmission and community transmission is this, that in local transmission we actually know that how a disease is traveling. For example, it infected Mr. A. From Mr. A it went to Mr. B. From Mr. B it went to Mr. C, Mr. D and Mr. E, and from here it went to likewise in this direction. So in local transmission we actually know the chain of virus, and through contact tracing we can identify all the people who have been infected, we can isolate them and we can treat them, and still there is a hope that the disease could be controlled. But in community transmission, we don't have any clue of this chain. People don't know from where they are getting the coronavirus. We are not able to trace all the people who are infected, and thus the disease will be rising very rapidly. So, therefore, community transmission is much more dangerous kind of stage. Government says that we know the people, we can trace the people, we can trace the chain, therefore we are into local transmission. Guys, there have been certain reports where people have been infected by coronavirus COVID-19, but they don't know from where they got it. So government is saying, ICMR particularly saying that these cases are very less, and on those less number of cases we can't declare it as a community transmission, still we are into local transmission. Now a question comes that why government wants to stick to only local transmission, and what will happen if there will be a community transmission. So guys, for this you need to understand the concept of a flattening of curve. Now government wants that the curve in India should be flattened. Now see, these are the number of cases and these are the time since the first case. So guys, there could be two possibilities: that one, rapidly the cases rises. Okay, now if the cases will rise so rapidly, so basically this line shows that it is the capacity of our health system, how many cases our health system can handle. So the moment cases will go above this particular level, our health system will collapse. However, if the cases will rise slowly and slowly, then what will happen, our health system will not be breached, and slowly the cases could be controlled here. So all the governments around the world wants that graph should be flattened. Now guys, article on the page number 1 says that India had reached the mark of 100 to 1000 cases in 14 days. Okay, and now actually still now we are into the stage of local transmission. Community transmission is not there. Stage 3 has not been reached. By this, government is trying to say that actually we will be able to flatten the curve, because we had seen that as the cases will rise slowly, our health system will not collapse. Guys, here you can see two distinct graphs. Here on the first graph we can see the performance of India with respect to the other countries. So India reached 1000 cases on nearly on the 14th day, and here you can see that at the same time ICMR and Ministry of Health says that within the same span of time countries reached 100 to 3000, 5000, 8000 cases. So here it can be seen that India is gradually going towards the flattening of the curve, whereas the countries such as US and Italy had reached into stage 3 and their curve is not flattened, it is particularly U shaped. Okay guys, so moreover, the same kind of trajectory can also be seen into the states. But however, there are certain states such as Maharashtra and Kerala whose graph is going towards upward. But it is not because of the failures of the government, but rather it is because mass number of testing which is being carried in both of the states. And at the same time, there is a criticism for India that India is not going for the mass testing. And in this direction, India is following the model of Italy, where the state asked its citizens to keep themselves into isolation, because 80% of the cases of COVID-19 show mild symptoms and gradually citizens or people can recover. However, government should follow the model of South Korea, where mass number of testing is being conducted so that all the sample size which have a particular infection could be isolated on the government's behalf, and the spread of disease could be stopped, guys. Moreover, here a kind of a question comes that could it be the case that because we are following the model of Italy and we are going for less number of tests, therefore where India's curve might be flattened? Actually, there could be a condition that there are much more number of cases. However, that is all a part of a speculation, and we will be indulging only with respect to the official narrative. So guys, this was all about these articles. Now we'll move to the next article. Guys, this article has been taken from the Hindu newspaper, and it explores as what are the success strategies that has been adopted by the state of Karnataka and what hope lies for other states in this respect. Guys, recently WHO's executive director has praised India with respect to India's response towards COVID-19 and says that India has a tremendous potential in this respect. Now, the immediate challenges is to curb the spread of virus, and at the same time basic needs of people are needed to be accounted. So guys, Karnataka state's response could be divided into certain verticals. First of all, on technical front, Karnataka had contained the spread of virus by having an active surveillance mechanism. So here Bruhat Bengaluru Mahanagarpalika, that is BBMP, had created war rooms, and in these war rooms, people are being monitored constantly. Now, all the patients infected with COVID 19 have been mapped, and BBMP constantly keeps a surveillance into the 8-kilometer radius and traces as the people who might have been came into the contact of a people, and through this particular thing they are rigorously following contact tracing by which the people who might be infected could be alerted. Guys, moreover, with the help of GPS, the people who are ordered to be quarantined, who are kept under an isolation, if they happens to leave that isolation ward, suddenly a message is received by the BBMP and they could be alerted that they should not leave their locations. Moreover, the Karnataka government had also made a Corona Watch app on which the government constantly monitors the stats of the people who have been infected and also alerts their contacts to keep a check on the rise in coronavirus cases. Guys, in the times of crisis, often fake news happens to be a biggest enemy. So in this particular direction, government is also giving right information. For to make this thing particularly operationalized, the Karnataka government had started a telegram group which is known as a Sahai group, and on this group a team of doctors from Employees State Insurance Corporation is available 24 by 7, which answers the queries of the citizens with respect to COVID-19. Guys, these particular type of things avoids the fake news. Moreover, Jan Snehi team of Karnataka government under Department of Information and Public Relations is also doing a very good work, as it has made a COVID awareness and response center under which under which volunteers have also been robed, and through its Twitter handle people are being given correct information and panic is being reduced. Guys, apart from this thing, Labor Department has also taken very notable initiatives, and a similar war room has also been established into the Labor Department. Moreover, the Labor Department has started the Soha helpline. On this helpline, a distress call can be made and government will provide dry as well as cooked meal to the person whosoever will contact. So guys, this the Soha line is providing food delivery, which is actually a very good initiative to contain the migration. Moreover, at the same time, all the deputy commissioners have been given a responsibility that in their jurisdiction they should contact with the convention halls and wedding halls where the migrant laborers could be housed till the pandemic and lockdown is averted. Now, apart from technical vertical, Karnataka government is also very much active on medical support. Now, there have been designated hospitals, and these designated hospitals have been given a hotline which is attended by doctors, medical professionals, and other volunteers. If a person happens to develop the symptom, he can contact on these hotlines and the proper solution could be given to these people. Now, this thing is being implemented so that there is no rushing in hospital and social distancing could be effectively be managed. Moreover, at the same time, government is working with the private hospitals also to assist them in relief related measures. Now, so third front of Karnataka government is economic assistance. Now, although central government has announced a relief package worth rupees 1.7 lakh crore under the aegis of Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana, but apart from this, Karnataka government has decided to give social security pensions of 2 months in advance to the poor people. Moreover, apart from this, the people will be given the advance work wages under MG Narega scheme. So guys, here more money will come to the people, due to which the aggregate demand will kept constantly. Moreover, it has also been decided that apart from the grain allocation which has been directed by the central government, Karnataka government will also give 2 months of advance ration to the people. Apart from this, it has also been decided that nearly 21 lakh construction workers will be paid a pension of rupees 1000 per month. Moreover, Karnataka government runs a good social security scheme, that is Badwara Bandhu, Under this scheme, interest free loans are given to the roadside vendors for their living. However, now the government has decided that the loans given under Badwara Bandhu scheme will be waived off so that the people did not face any kind of miseries. Now, government has been also very much active on humanitarian front, as guys, the Karnataka government has a setup of Indra canteens, as there are Amma canteens in Tamil Nadu, there are Indra canteens in Karnataka. They will be providing free food to the near needy and poor people. Moreover, vicinity market is being popularized, according to which people should buy the essential items from the shops which are in their vicinity so that social distancing can be properly observed. So guys, these are the notable initiatives which has been taken by the Karnataka government, and at the same time the Chief Minister of Karnataka, who also happens to be the writer of this editorial, makes an compelling appeal that the people should come in front and should make generous contributions to the relief fund so that all these things could be done even more in a effective way. So guys, this was all about this particular article, and now we'll move to the next article. Guys, in this discussion, we have taken two similar articles from the Hindu and from the Indian Express. These two articles are exploring that how government had failed to anticipate the miseries and the problems that will be faced by the migrant and marginal workers when the lockdown will be imposed at very short notice. Guys, here I would like to emphasize a report of ILO, that is Women and Men in Informal Economy. According to this report, 81% of workforce of India is involved in informal sector, and out of this 81%, a majority of workers are migrant and they had came from the different states. Now, due to lockdown, these people, a substantial chunk of population, is facing a hardship. Therefore, it has been commented that government's health crisis has turned to be a humanitarian concern. You can see a sea of people which is flocking towards the state boundaries, and here the government's social distancing has utterly failed, and at the same time, it is causing a lot of miseries. Guys, according to articles, there are 139 million people who are internal workers and have migrated to one or the other states, and majority of these people depend on their daily wages, and just because merely a 4 hour notice was given, it was very hard for these people to figure out in which direction they need to go. Now, there even have been reports, even on the page number one, that when these people are reaching back their states, they are being disinfected, they are being ill treated. Even a person died yesterday. So it is a kind of a denial of basic human rights, which have to be given under United Nations Declaration of Human Rights, which was founded in 1948, and India is a signatory also here. Though certain state governments tried to respond to the crisis, and in various states the shelter were created and the food and shelter facilities were provided, but migrants, they walked regardless because such a kind of a panic was created that it shows a kind of a failure. Moreover, guys, the articles explore that what prompted people to continue their walking. So, guys, there are push factors which facilitated the thrust of people out from the cities, and at the same time, there were pull factors which were attracting the people towards their home cities and the home states. So, into the push factor, first is the poor implementation of the meal programs. We had seen that government enhanced the meal allocation of 5 kg over and above the compulsory allocation that was being given under National Food Security Act. However, there is a problem in this thing that these meals could only be taken if you have a ration cards, and when the workers are migrant, they don't have these kind of ration cards into these cities. Moreover, there was a kind of a possibility that they might get a transport by certain other channels. Therefore, people continued to come onto the streets. However, then they faced other kind of miseries. Guys, moreover, it shows that the people have a deep distrust on the behalf of a state. It shows that there is a broken trust in two parties, and they did not bought the argument that people will be taking care of them, and these things have even been partially proved to be true because the relief package has not been effective up to this particular point. Moreover, there is a kind of a low awareness into the people with respect to the meager facilities that have even been given by the government. Moreover, guys, various, as you know, that directly and indirectly more than 60% of the population is working into the agriculture sector, and this season also happens to be the season of harvest. So many people migrated in a hope that they will harvest their rabi crops, otherwise they might be wasted. Moreover, guys, this it is a kind of a pattern that cities have always been exclusionary to migrants. A kind of a step brotherly treatment is often shown to these people, and they face a kind of a disconnect with the cities, and often these when these kind of crises emerge, they run from the cities. Therefore the pull factors also come into the picture. So basically there have been reports that people gave the testimonials that if they want to die, they want to die with their family. So people were missing a bond with their family. And secondly, in India, this is a fact that state is very weak but the society is strong. In this time of crisis, they might not be able to borrow money into the cities but into their villages. Due to social bonds, they can borrow money and can borrow food if the situation turns even more worse. Now a question comes that what should have been done. So there could have been a better coordination with the states, so that both at the sending end as well as receiving end there could be a better preparation. Moreover, the entire matter should not have been dealt into such a secretive manner. Rather, the process should have been much more transparent, so that people could have prepared themselves better into the crisis of lockdown. Moreover, guys, now the article suggests that what could be done into the present times. So locking up people and disinfecting the people and giving a inhumane treatment is will further be aggravating the problem. First of all, a kind of a trust is needed to be built. Therefore, either home ministry or from the prime minister's office, a credible statement should come which should assure people with the respect to the kind treatment that will be given to them. Moreover, facilities could be promised to them on the lieu of getting them quarantined or isolated. It could be given to them that if they registered themselves into designated shelters, they will be getting all the benefits that government is rolling out. Moreover, guys, Aadhaar card could be used for the identification of the people which might have been acting as a carrier of the pathogen. Guys, at the same time, our responsibility is to minimize the crowding at bus stations. So in this regard, a date and time specific bus tickets could be sent on either mobile numbers or WhatsApp of the people who might be prospective migrants or travelers. In this particular respect, government needs to take the help of Aadhaar identification or GPS tracking. Moreover, when the people will be reaching back their home, the gram panchayat should be empowered adequately so that they can carry out adequate testing, and if somebody is found to be infected, proper isolation and treatment should also be carried. Otherwise, India might enter into the stage 3 of community transmission. So guys, this was all about this article, and now we'll move to the next article. Guys, this editorial has been taken from the Hindu newspaper, and it talks about testing for COVID 19. So, guys, for COVID 19, a particular test is prescribed, that is RT PCR test. Now, RT PCR stands for Real Time Transverse Transcription Polymerase Chain Reaction Test. Now, there are two particular angles to this particular issue. One is with respect to science and tech, how this particular test works on coronavirus, and second is regulatory regime. With respect to regulatory regime, we need to see how ICMR is giving clearances to different medical firms in respect to make the kits which can conduct RT-PCR test. So guys, right now certain firms have came out with RT-PCR test, but primarily into the world the major firms are situated in US, and FDA has till now gave approval to nearly 20 firms who are making RT-PCR test. Though certain firms in India also have been given approval by ICMR, but there are certain more enzymes and elements which are needed, that which are called as primers and probes. Now these primers and probes are particularly imported from US, due to which the testing capability of India are being hampered. Guys, with respect to testing capabilities, earlier National Institute of Virology Pune was given a sole mandate to do the test of coronavirus, but now the ICMR had given approval to various private labs as well. It is a welcome step in this direction as it will enhance the testing capabilities. But guys, the article calls that in this particular regard, even more relaxation and even more private labs should be given approval. However, at the same times, adequate safeguard protocols should also be implemented so that there is no travesty in handling of the samples. However, at the same time, ICMR also needs to complete this all of regime in a very swift manner so that India can have a better testing regime. Guys, there is one more dimension of the testing of COVID-19, that is science and technological aspect. However, deliberately I will not be taking up that part here because the video then will be very much lengthy and it will change the orientation from current affairs to static part. By the night of 31st March, I will be putting one more video where I will be taking again the concept of science and technology as well as all these regulatory systems up to date. I will be covering again. So deliberately, I am shifting the discussion on science and tech aspect because you might not be knowing the basic differences as what is DNA, what is RNA, and in absence of that particular knowledge, you will not be able to grasp this particular thing. So guys, please stay tuned, and till the evening of 31st March, the video has already been prepared. Some final touch-ups have to be given. So by 31st March night, I will be posting that video and you can refer that video again for better clarity on various other aspects. So guys, this was all about today's newspaper editorial analysis. If you like the video, then please do share and subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much.